with Kung Fu Eddy. He will fight you to the death.
What's up, everybody? This is Kung Fu Eddy, baby, representing the Big Propaganda Wrestling Podcast and talking to Eddy, baby. And I'm here with a legend. You don't even recognize his voice, but I guarantee you, if you look down at this table, you'll recognize his voice. Mr. Marc Thompson, baby. How are you doing, my friend?
Good, how are you?
Good, good. So I know most of my questions are going to be Yu-Gi-Oh related, but again, I feel like your name is also recognizable for a certain character. I don't know if we should give out the hint.
Who could
of
it be? I don't know.
So again, where did you get that opportunity for the Pokemon franchise?
Oh wow! It was one of my earlier jobs. Like I answered an ad in Backstage, so it's like an actor's paper, and they were just looking for voices, and I answered it and got in, and it was one of these things where I started off kind of being like one of the trainers in one of the villages that for like one episode, and then it just started snowballing, and they're like, oh, try this one and try this one, and it's been 20 some odd years and I'm still doing it now. So.
My goodness. And the main thing, like I always learn from like voice actors is that you don't know how much of an impact you will have until you do conventions like this. So do you feel like that doing those voices really brought you like not really like fame or fortune, but like at least a sort of a joy of satisfaction of bringing a character to life, especially the ones that don't have a voice?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yes to all of that. I mean, it's been so amazing to come to shows like this and meet fans because it's like you said, like 20 years ago, I just felt like, oh, here's a gig, here's a job, I'll just do this. But you don't necessarily connect the dots that there's like kids that are watching this religiously and like every day they're like, you know, obsessing over it the way I might obsess over like Star Trek or Star Wars or something like that. So to then now meet people that grew up with this has been very moving and fulfilling, and so absolutely. But it is funny that like, you know, I do a lot of character voices and I do, you know, a lot of, you know, human being characters, but it is funny that some of the more popular things I'm known for is these creatures that they just say one word over and over and over again. So
you would think like it's a quote unquote easy job, but at the same time, like you can't say Gengar. Gengar. No, you gotta say it creatively because you gotta bring emotion to it. Yeah, like, you gotta say Gengar in a sad way. You gotta say Gengar in a happy way.
Exactly.
You gotta say it in an angry way. So like. Where does all that inspiration comes from? Is it just by the characters' facials, or just by the director telling you like, okay, he's feeling this way, right? Let's do it that way.
Yeah, it's a combination of both. I mean, it's funny. I went to school for acting, and one of the things that we did in acting school was we trained in this technique called Meisner. And one of the exercises they do in Meisner is you just take a word or a phrase and repeat it over and over and over again, like blue eyes, blue eyes, blue eyes. And you pick different emotional intentions to attribute to that word, because they were trying to teach you that it's the intent behind the word more than it is the word themselves. So oddly enough, that like prepared me for Pokemon, because you just say the same word over and over, but just with different emotional intentions. So, and then I have an amazing director like Lisa Ortiz, who's here, directs the Pokemon show, and she's always pulling really stuff out of interesting takes out of me. And she's like, I don't want to be a pain in the butt, but let's do it this way. And like she has a very specific idea of how each of those moments needs to sound. So we do put a lot of effort into it. It is not just saying like one word, you know. So. But it can feel kind of silly after a while.
And do you love that pressure? Like okay, I couldn't do this, or does it get like frustrating?
For the most part, I love it. I love the challenge of it, and you know, sometimes it gets a little hard on the vocal cords after a while. But I do want to try to make it as unique and specific to those moments as I can.
Dude, that's awesome. So again, a lot of the fandom that comes from you is from Pokemon, but for me personally, is Yu-Gi-Oh.
Nice.
That was my first animated show that I saw in either, what was it, a CW Kids?
Oh, yeah.
Like, yeah. So obviously, as you can see, like he voiced Duke Devlin.
Yeah.
Like he's like one of those guys that
Dimension the dice. Nice try, Yugi.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Because like again, he started off like I describe some of these like anime villains as like the Fast and the Furious franchise.
Uh-huh.
They start off as being a villain, but then they go back to being the barbecue.
Yeah.
Barbecue. So
I've never heard it described that way. That's really
yeah.
good.
I mean, that's all. Like Vegeta, like Bakudo, like anybody. They start off as bad guys,
Right.
But then they just no, come on. Let's like introduce a fact. Come on now.
Hey, how are you?
Like I said, I'm a professional
Marc.
podcaster.
What's your name?
Lily.
Lily, nice to meet you.
Hi.
You see, fans from all ages.
See, OG, Gengar, my
Yeah.
all this new stuff you do. That's so awesome. We just wanted to say hi and see what
Oh,
you guys
yeah.
are doing.
Yes.
Can you reach down there and there's like a little bag of toy Pokemon in there?
Look at that.
It might be in the in the orange one.
Oh no, one.
Sorry.
No, you're fine.
Do you like Pokemon? Would you like one?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
This is an example of connecting with your fans, guys.
Look at this one.
You're gonna get that one?
I don't know what it is. Oh! His name.
Yeah, you can pretend you know it.
She's terrible with names.
Yeah, after
I am
151,
Yeah.
I'm done.
Yeah.
I tapped out.
It's hard to know 'em all. Yeah.
5 or 600.
And I still play Pokemon Go, but like I said, after 151, I have no idea.
No. It looks like Rattata, but it's not
I
purple.
almost said rice.
No.
No.
Oh, that's Nita.
Nido's gonna tell me.
Yeah.
Nita.
Yeah, it's a Nita. Like Nita Queen.
Nido, yeah.
Yeah, I remember that one.
One of those. Well, awesome. Thank you.
That's
guys.
awesome.
Yeah, it's nice
No,
to meet
thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you
Okay.
so much.
Right.
And so again, how was that feeling, man?
Oh, it's great. Yeah. I mean, just to see, what is interesting with voiceover
Uh-huh.
is they don't know my face, so they don't know
Exactly.
me. So, but when I do the voice, then you see it register like,
Oh my
that,
God, yeah.
So that's fun.
That's always fun. Like it's one of those things that like you never imagine, like especially with like the female voice actors voicing teenage boys.
Yeah.
Like, I'm over here like being a sexist. Like no, it has to be a man.
Yeah.
They're like no, it's actually a
It sounds
woman.
much
like
better, yeah.
what? Get out of here. So going back to the Yu-Gi-Oh and
Yeah.
the family barbecue. So again, like with Duke Devlin, but one of my personal favorites that I did my research correctly is Raphael.
Yes.
Dude,
yes.
Raphael was the man that humbled Yugi.
Yeah.
He humbled him so good to the point that it's like, yeah, that's my guy.
Yeah.
So how was it going from like a cocky, arrogant like Duke Devlin to like a guy that's in a mission to try to prove himself like Raphael?
That was pretty cool. Like you said, to actually stand toe to toe with Yugi and put him down. Like that was pretty fun to do. It was really cool.
Yeah.
And I like how tough and seal of very calculus. It's really deep and low.
just the way every single time you say "Seal of Arikakus," it brings some joy to me. So, again, I really appreciate your
Yeah,
time, my
man.
friend.
Yeah, no
again,
problem.
I really hope so that we could get some Funko Pops of Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yes.
Again, like that's the ones I collect.
Yeah, I would. Yes, I would love that.
Yes, that's all right. I'll start a petition.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you guys for joining myself and Marc Thompson and Kung Fu Eddy, baby, and the Big Propaganda Wrestling Podcast. Thank you. Peace.